Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. I am MK.
And I am Coach Sammy Love.
We want to welcome you guys to Level Up
Hey,
Podcast.
y'all.
Hey, y'all. Hey. So, we're excited to be on with you guys for tonight. Do us a favor as you guys come in. Let us know that you are here because we know sometimes y'all like to watch and y'all don't say nothing. So, let us know that you guys are here so we can shout you out
Yes.
as sharing and tagging at least three people in, y'all. So can y'all do us that favor and tag at
Yeah.
least three people in? Hit the share button. Tonight's topic is going to be so good. We
Yeah.
always come with some really good topics, y'all. So I really believe that this topic is just going to add to the list of it being on fire. So
Yes.
I don't want to miss out on this. Please share, tag some people in. Hey Rihanna.
Hey,
Hey.
Rihanna.
It's good to see you on. Thank you for tagging some people in. So please tag, y'all. We're doing the same thing as well and sharing. So y'all don't think that we just doing it and we telling y'all to do it and we ain't doing it. We are doing it as well. Okay. So we are sharing, tagging some people on. We thank you guys so much for your support. We thank you guys for even just tuning in for season 4. This should be the episode 2 or second episode, should I say 2? But
Yeah.
second episode, y'all, of us coming on. So please go ahead and share, tag some people in. Also, we have the ticker below you guys where it will have all of the information on you guys, how you guys can kind of stay connected with us. So we already have here on Facebook. We also have as well as Instagram, which is level_up with 3Ps underscore now. And then we have YouTube, which is under level up with 3Ps podcast. Remember, if you guys have any questions or any topics that you guys may want to try to discuss, you can just submit those to levelup1322@gmail.com. And remember, you guys, too, if you are on YouTube, please like and subscribe as well. So that way you guys can stay connected with us. So once again, continue to share, continue to invite some folks in. I see some people on, but I only see Rihanna. Say, I see y'all looking. We would love to acknowledge you guys. So if you can, go ahead and just let us know that you are tuning in. Now, even if you at work, just kind of shoot a little, hey, y'all. I know some of y'all be at work while y'all listening in, but we just honestly, y'all, we love to be able to acknowledge you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in and sharing, like I said, and tagging. Hey, Pastor Jay. So
Hey,
we're
Pastor J.
in just a few. So we do have our announcement. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Coach so she can give you the announcement, and then I'll do my part and we can get started.
Okay, y'all. So anytime I'm talking about the Level Up Conference. I want to know who had gotten their tickets.
Yeah,
You're waiting to the last minute.
yeah.
Go ahead and go over to Eventbrite tonight, and order your tickets. For the Level Up Conference, it's going to be February the 24th from 2 to 5 p.m. in Rancho Cucamonga. It's called No More Excuses. It's going to be off the chain. So you want to get your tickets now because our closing date is coming up soon. Because this month is going by, and we do have a cutoff day for the tickets. So if you do not get your tickets before the cutoff day, you just will not be in the house. So once again, the Level Up Conference, go over to Eventbrite, get your tickets. Hey, share with a friend. If you can't come, sponsor a seat for somebody else that can come. And you want to be in the house for this. You owe this to yourself for this year. You owe this to yourself. Won't you start the year off right? Just leveling up, and no more excuses. And that even goes for the tickets. No more excuses why you not haven't got your ticket.
Come on
So you want to be at the conference, and like I said, it's going to be off the chain. We're really putting a lot of thought into it, and so we don't just throw nothing together. So you need to go and purchase your tickets. We want to thank those who have already purchased your tickets. We thank you. We can't wait to see you, and I think that's it.
Yeah, so we're excited, y'all. Please don't wait till the last minute. Like Coach said, I really believe you deserve this. You deserve to pour into yourself. You deserve to invest in yourself. So please get your tickets. Do not wait. So I want to get started with the topic. But before I get started, I want to go ahead and release our disclaimer, as we always go forth with, which is at the end of the day, you guys, we come on here to help you guys, just from our past situations, our experiences, our testimonies. testimonies. And so with that, we share and we be completely vulnerable, y'all. We be completely transparent to share with you guys in regard to the things we went through, the things we may even currently be facing, just to help you and to push you and to, get you to that place where you level up. So by any means, anything that we do say, once again, it is to encourage you. However, you do not have to follow through with what we say. You don't have to
Yes.
follow our opinions. You don't have to follow through any of it at the end of the day. But we choose to, like I said, express our lifestyle and the things that we, like I said, encounter, because we have countless people who have told us that our lives, our testimonies, even just certain, opinions, suggestions. Hey, Kamiko, has helped them.
Hey.
Basically we got proof. We got the fruit of us being
Yes.
able to testify, the fruit of us being able to encourage people with, suggestions and opinions and stuff. So once again, you don't have to follow through with it, but every time we come on, we want to just help and push you to level up. So let's get started. So tonight's topic, y'all, is
Yes.
growth and change go together. Okay, so growth and change go together. I'm gonna turn it over to Coach and see what she thinks about this topic on tonight, or what is her input on the topic.
Well, I think they go together because a lot of people, they want to grow, but they don't want to change. So they want to grow, they want to go to another level, but they don't want to come out their comfort zone. They don't want to come step into the unknown because it's unfamiliar. But you cannot grow and not experience some change. That's like a baby. As a baby grow, they change. They go from, not walking to walking. They go from you giving them a bottle to them feeding themselves. So it's a growth and it's change that goes along with it. And so I think if we understand to not be afraid of change, because a lot of times, because we are afraid of change, we stop growing.
Oh, that's good.
So being afraid of changing environments, changing jobs, changing cities, changing whatever it may be that needs to change. If we do not, if we fight against the change, what can happen is it can stagnate us. So what happens when we get stagnated, we can begin to die. And I'm not saying physically die, but just say spiritually, or that gift can start to die, or that dream can start to die, whatever the case may be, because we don't want to change. That means we're not growing. That means we become stagnant. And when you become stagnant, that means I can come back 10 years later and you still look the same. You're still doing the same. And that just reminds me of people. I used to be like, wow, when I was growing up, they hung out in front of the liquor store. When I got grown, they were still hanging out in front of the liquor store. And I was like, wow, they stuck. Because if I was 8, let's just say 10, and you in front of the liquor store, and here I am 20, and you still hanging out in the same spot, look like nothing ain't changed, it's like you haven't grown. You're stuck. So when you fight change, you're fighting. When you fight change, when you fight change, you're not going to grow. That's all I got to say, because it goes together. And so I think once we understand that I want to grow, so I'm going to embrace change, because change it may seem scary at first because it's taking you out of your comfort zone, but it's a good thing. Sometimes we need change. Sometimes we need the atmosphere to change. We need different things to change. Why? Because then we have a fresh outlook. If there is no change, it's like we can do it on autopilot. We can do it on autopilot. And I remember I just told somebody, I said, I used to be such in a what did I call it? Where I do the same thing all the time.
Repetitive.
And so I told him, I said, it got to a point where I started taking different ways home. Because I was tired of going the same way, because that's what I did every day. It was like, I'm tired of going this way. I'm gonna go take a left and then go all the way out the way. Why? Because I had been doing it so long. It was like, man, that's all you do. Go to work, come the same way home, come home, cook dinner, go to bed, get up in the morning. It's like the same thing over and over again. So it's like, okay, I need to try something new. You know what I'm saying? So to shake it up a little bit, because it becomes autopilot. It becomes mundane. Why? Because now I don't even have to think about it. I don't have to think about it because I'm on autopilot. When you're
Yeah.
on autopilot, you don't have to think about certain things. Why? Because you can do it with your eyes closed because you've been doing it so long. Anytime change comes, you can't do it on autopilot. Not at first.
Yeah.
Why? Because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen to the left. I don't know what's going to happen to the right. Why? Because it's all new to me. But on autopilot, I know, okay, this is going to happen over there. That's going to happen over there. So you already know what you in store for. But anytime change comes, you don't know what you're in store for. But it's a good thing. Because if you want to grow and grow out of where you're at, to grow out of that environment, to grow even in the gifts God has given you, to grow in whatever it may take, you're going to have to embrace change. And you're going to have to embrace challenges. And you're going to have to embrace being stretched. And you got look, and then you're going to have to embrace being uncomfortable. Because you're uncomfortable when you're in an environment you don't know about.
True.
You feel out of place. Because I don't know nothing here. They talking big words. I don't know big words. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you automatically feel uncomfortable. Why? Because I can't even participate in the conversation because I'm not fluid in the words that they're talking. But you can still embrace that. Why? Because you can learn from them. So change and growth, you have to put them together. And if you don't, you stop growing and you'll be stagnant.
I believe that too. I believe that because even Kamiko had actually said it, and I was going to say it prior, but she had said two things. She said, one, she said we develop. Two, she said change is a good thing that makes people uncomfortable. And so you had kind of emphasized, you had kind of like shared a little bit on that uncomfortable. And so I was sitting here thinking, and I was like, man, like, growth and change does go together. We know it goes together. Some people, they may think like, oh no, I don't think it go together. Yeah, because at some point, like when you're growing, you're changing. Think about it. When we're a baby going up to teenage and all this stuff, you're growing, you're changing. Like if you are not changing, then there has to be some dysfunction. There has to be something that is that ain't some names ain't right. That's all I'm just saying. Some ain't right if there is no growth and change, right? And so it's necessary for that, the fact of when you're growing, there has to be change, because growth is basically the proof or the evidence of change.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
I was just sitting here thinking, I'm like, that's the evidence of it. Because when you think of a plant, right? When you think of a plant, or even when you think of a seed, let's back it up a little bit. When you think of a seed, it has to go through certain stages.
Yes.
It doesn't, I ain't never seen this, y'all. Okay. I ain't never seen you plant a seed and then the next day or a few hours, it's this big blossom tree. It's this big blossom plant. I ain't never seen it. Y'all can correct me. But baby, I ain't never seen it. I ain't never seen you go ahead, Kamiko, and you go ahead and just put your little dirt and you put your little seed in it and you cover it on up. And then next you know, you just sitting there like, oh, it's about to grow. It's about to grow. It's about to grow. And then next you know, just boom, it blossom. Nah, baby. It's going to take a minute for that thing to blossom. Oh, that's good. It's going to take a minute. There is stages. There is a process. And it's okay when you're going through the process, because some people automatically want to be that tree. You want to produce the fruit, but you got to first be a seed.
Yes,
you can't expect to be producing other things when you haven't even took the precaution, or even as we say in the Bible, count the costs, right? You haven't did all those things, but that's so powerful because it just lets you know, even for yourself, to be an encouragement for yourself is, I'm growing. And because I'm growing, you can see the fruit of it and you see me changing. And so that's one of the things that I always kind of congratulate myself. I always kind of encourage myself with is that I'm not how I used to be. I don't like I used to be. Why? Because I've been growing, and because I've been growing, my attitude has changed. My response have changed. Certain things have changed. So like you said, it goes together. And if it doesn't go together and people think like, well, no, it don't really go together, then like I said, there's something where it's dysfunctional. And like Kamiko was saying, and what you said, Coach, is the whole uncomfortable. Like can we be honest? Being uncomfortable is not a good feeling. Like
Yeah.
you said, even coming into a new environment, or you're coming into a place, like you said, where people have different languages and they're saying certain stuff, and we're not really like used to that. It's very uncomfortable. It's
Yeah.
very challenging. But what's going to keep you into the place of you actually seeing change is the growth.
That's good.
That's why I said it does. It's almost like a math problem.
Yeah.
It's like an addition or something. Like it has to go together. You got growth plus change equal. Like it's just all,
Yeah.
it goes all together. It goes
That's
all
good.
together.
That's
Bless
good.
you, Prophetess Lisa. So I like what you
Hey.
said. That was really good. And I really believe if we just take the time though to
Yes.
grow, we will see the fruit of change.
That's good.
Because like I said, we rush so much. We
Yeah.
want to see this, and there's nothing wrong, you guys, with even just wanting stuff to be at what it needs to be at. But as I always say, there is a reason why God takes us through the process. There's a reason why God shows us certain things so that we don't just jump out or we miss certain steps or things that could be beneficial along the process.
Yes.
We've now skipped all of that. Right. And so it's like I would even just encourage somebody, even on tonight, is to be patient with yourself.
That's good.
Right.
That's good.
Because when we're in those moments, when we're in those stages, like be patient with yourself. Like I know for me, I'm a tough critic, coach, on myself. I'm a real tough critic where I'm like, man, I know I should have did this better. I should have did that. Like, you like I told y'all, I always recap. I self-reflect. So I have to keep telling myself, like, Niche, just be patient. Just be patient with yourself. Like you're growing. Like just be patient. And it made me think about this. I'm gonna turn this over to you, coach. Is I actually had got a phone case. I don't think I shared this on the live or anything, what was said, but the little phone case, okay, I'm gonna read it.
That's cute. I'm
gonna read it. And it says, note to self, you gotta do this for you. This is for you. This isn't about anybody. Live for you. Never lose sight of that. Be nice to yourself.
That's good. I like that.
So I had to have that as a reminder. Be nice to myself. Give myself the grace. Like, girl, you're going through some changes. You ain't gonna get it all the time. Think about even with babies, coach. Like, you know how they be frustrated and they trying to eat and they trying to grab the stuff and they get mad and they tossing this and they tossing that. Like they really frustrated because they trying to eat. Like it's the same thing was. It's like you just gotta take the time. Just be patient. Be kind to yourself, and it's going to happen. The growth and the change is going to happen.
That's good. That's good. I think a lot of times we don't want to be patient when it comes to growing. Like you said, we want to plant a seed and tomorrow is the big old bush.
Yeah.
But we have to give that seed time to die. Because when the seed goes in the ground, it dies first.
Ooh, you just said something.
And it germinates.
Oh, you just said something.
And then all the work is done underground. Before you see that one little sprout come up, it's already got roots. It's already did work underground. So a lot of times you won't see the results yet, but it's working. And a lot of times we feel like, we may feel like, well, I'm studying my scriptures, I'm praying, but nothing ain't working. That's because you're looking at the surface. You don't understand what's going on underneath. You don't understand what's going on with God in the background. Because a lot of times, because we don't see it right in front of us, we don't understand that he also works in the background.
Yeah.
And so when we understand that, but time you actually see it with your natural eyes, it already been in work.
Yes.
It's already been worked on, but time is actually manifested. So I think a lot of time, because it's not showing right now, we feel like it's not working. It's not working. I'm gonna give it up. But I truly believe if you remain consistent, then you will see the results. And a lot of times, because we don't remain consistent, we never see the results. And if we really think about it, we give up in the same spot. I've come to realize that. It's the same feeling you have all the time. That's the same spot you always give up at. It feels the same. And it's the same spot and you give up at that spot. And what happens is you never go past that spot.
Yeah.
So you don't even know what's on the other end because you always get to the same spot and give up. And so when you know, okay, I'm doing what God has called me to do, and I may not see any results, but I have to trust and believe that something is happening in the inside. I have to believe by faith that I'm not just studying scriptures, ain't nothing happening. I have to believe by faith that I'm not just praying and nothing happening.
Mm.
I may not see it, but I have to believe that when I open up my mouth, things are turning around in my favor. Things are switching. Things are happening in the spirit realm, even though I don't see it. And so that's how we have to look at our growth. I don't see it. I don't see my heart. I don't see my kidneys. I don't see my lungs. I see none of that, but they're in me and they're functioning and they're doing what they're supposed to do. I don't see it, but they're there. Certain things you don't see, but you know you're alive because what? If you know, without it, you'll be dead.
Right.
So I think like that, even with growth, like you said, I always tell people this. I say you have to give yourself grace too, because sometimes we give everybody else grace and not ourselves. And so we're gonna have, and let me say this: when you are growing, you are going to have growing pains. You don't grow without pain. You're going to have growing pains. It goes together. That's like, I remember my son, he's real tall, but I remember as a kid, he would always say his bones was hurting. And it comes to find out, it was growing pains. It happens to my daughter too. Every now and then her legs hurt. Why? It's growing pain. She's growing, and it hurts a little bit. It's going to hurt a little bit to grow. Growth is going to hurt. Not only is it comes with change, but it also comes with hurt. So it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt some to grow. Why? Because to grow, that means I have to have my mindset changed. I can't see things the way that I used to see it. I'm going to be challenged in areas that I don't feel strong in yet. I'm going to be challenged in areas that I don't feel like I aced it yet. Like, don't challenge me yet. I ain't aced it. But God ain't going to wait till you efficient in it. Remember I told you, I said, God is the God that put you, he'll do you on the job training. Lord. He'd be like, no, you on the job training. You feel, you know. And so I think when we understand that growth comes with pain, so it's going to be pain with growing. Because why? Because you're being stretched. You're going to be challenged. Your mind probably going to be hurting because you like all this wisdom, all this knowledge, all this studying, all this. It's my brain hurt, but it's for your good. And you have to believe that you are eating this food. You are eating the things you need to eat. And change is happening within you because we know with the word of God, change starts in the side of you before it comes on the outside.
That's good.
It always happens in the inside before it's manifested on the outside. And so we just have to understand that with growth, it's going to be pain, but growth is going to require you to want to change, and you got to be able to embrace change. So therefore you can go to the next level. And yeah.
Oh, Jesus. And this is a tough topic though. The reason why is because we saying a lot of like key things with being uncomfortable. Even when you say consistency, and I love how you gave that illustration as far as growing pains. So that lets us know that growing pains is it because there's a lot of people, right? We need the signs. I need to see some signs. I need to see something happening and something taking place. Why? Because we just that type of generation where it's like we got to see it to believe it. But as we know, the Bible tells us like there are times you're just going to have to walk by faith. Right. Because growth, you growing is a big vital part of your life, because that's how you're able to go into certain doors. That's how you're able to go into and to have these opportunities, because you've grown for that position. You've grown for that opportunity. And so God already knows that if he give us certain opportunities, certain doors, connect us with certain people, things like that, and we're not mature enough, we can really be detrimental, not just to ourselves, but to them. And so this is why I said, even when it comes to that growing, like it's so vital, like you said, give yourself the grace. But even as you said, the growing pains is literally showing us the indication that growth is happening.
Yes, that's good.
That's your results. That's your results. And so because there's that indication, you seeing now, you feeling it now, you're like, wait a minute, Lord, hold up, wait, pause. Sometimes I be want to say, time out, God. Time out, God. Wait a minute, because hold on, it's happening too quick for me. There's a lot
Yes.
going on, Lord. But it lets you know that that's your encouragement right there.
Yeah.
It's the growing pains. It may not make sense because it hurts. It may not make sense because it's frustrating. It may not make sense because sometimes it feels like a place where you can't even bear it. But it lets me know that because I'm having growing pains, that shows me there's an indication that growth is happening, which
Yes.
should encourage me, which should pivot me, which should cause me to have more momentum to keep going and will do what? Be consistent.
That's good.
That's when you were saying with that consistency is you have to be consistent. I don't know why we keep going with the planting and all that other stuff, but think about it. If you just plant that seed and you do nothing else, you got to take care of that thing.
Yes.
You got to
Yes.
take care of it, right? Because this could be some whole bunch of stuff that go on. You got to nurture it. You got to feed it. You got all this stuff, girl.
Yes.
But the thing is, if I was only just to plant the seed and do nothing else, how can I expect to see any results? How can I expect to see growth when I was not consistent in the stages of when I should have been nurturing it, when I should have been pouring into it, when I should have been doing all of these things? And so, like you said, you have to be consistent.
That's good.
A lot of times we're not consistent with things that causes for us not to have the results that we want. And now it leads to discouragement.
That's
so
good.
Now because you're discouraged, now because you weren't consistent, now you over here in this like a cloud, dark fog in your mind. And like you said, it produces what? Stagnation.
Yeah, that's good.
It's crazy how when we don't even think of that, you don't even think of the fact that it's like, why do I feel stuck? Why do I feel stagnated? Have you been applying yourself? Have you been enduring and not ready to tap out? Because like I said, I'd be wanting to tap out. Have you been consistent? Have you given, like you said, the grace to grow?
Yeah.
Because stagnation, y'all, literally stagnation, I really feel like it's almost like just there's nothing else after that point. Like you just feel like, man, I'm just stuck. Like, because think about it, you're stuck. What can you do? You got to make the mind up to say, I'm going to progress. I'm going to move forward from this, because I don't believe that just because you're in that moment of being stagnated, that doesn't mean you can't overcome. That doesn't mean that you can't progress. Sometimes it may take a little longer because now you got to build that momentum back up.
Yeah.
Now you got to get yourself in that position where you're encouraging yourself. Okay, your mindset have shifted. Your thoughts have shifted. Like now you got to do a little bit more work. So I feel like if you were at that stage where you're growing, you're progressing, you're seeing the change, just keep going, because the momentum keeps flowing. God keeps giving you the strength. God keeps giving you the grace. He keeps giving you what you need to keep moving forward so that you can see the evidence of him transforming you. The evidence of him doing the work in you. But if you got to slow down, think about it when you think about your car. When you drive in and then there's a red light, you got to stop.
Yeah.
But then when the light turned green, now you got to pick up the gas and you got to, right? Versus you just coasted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing. It's like just keep growing, keep progressing.
Yeah.
And not only that, Coach, I think we should also have people around us that's going to help us with that.
Yeah.
So like, I know that for me, I believe you should have people, even in the process of you're growing and things are changing, things like that. I believe you should also have a few people. I ain't gonna say a whole bunch of people because it can get confusing in people's voices and stuff. But I believe that you should have a good, solid people around you that help you even in the stages of your life when you're growing.
Yeah. To water you.
Say it again.
To water you.
Oh, Jesus, say it again. Say it again.
You have to have people that got water to water you.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to have people that has water and they're able to pour into you and to water you. It's almost like how I visualize it. They pour into you, you pour into somebody else. Like it's like a waterfall effect. I believe that. And so they're pouring into you, you pouring into the next person, and it just kind of goes down. But you have to have that, when you are growing. Because when you're growing, there are times you want to give up. Because like I said, the growing pains. And there are times that you're afraid to go to that next level. Because I don't know what's there. My family has never went this far. Even my friends have never went this far. So I don't even have no one to tell me what to watch out for.
Ooh.
Nobody has ever went this far. And here I am standing at that door. I'm gonna go into I don't know anyone around me who has been there. And so it's like you need someone to encourage you and, like I said, to pour into you, to water you as you're going through that change, as you're going through the dying to yourself so that you may grow and live. Like I said earlier, I said the seed goes into the ground, it germinates, it dies. Then so it dies first. And so as we're growing, when we're growing, we're dying to the old to go into the new. So basically the old things are falling off us like shedding like skin. So the old things are falling off of us, and then new things is being built on us. That's how the process goes. And it falls off, a new come, falls off, new come. And you just keeps changing. That's the transformation. And so it sometimes is like, oh my goodness, like I'm afraid. You can be afraid. You can be afraid of, like I said, going forth, but you have somebody that's going to speak life to you, somebody that's going to speak the word to you, somebody that's going to encourage you in faith, not someone to be like, oh no, girl, don't go. I wouldn't go. No, you're going to have somebody to say, hey, if this is what God has called you to do, then I'm going to cheer you. I'm going to cheer for you and push you forward.
That's good.
And so those are the type of people you have to have around you, that they see you growing, they see you changing, they see you elevating, and they're able to pour into you and to hold up your hands like they had to hold up Moses' hands. Because sometimes in the growth and the challenge, like I told you, you get to be stretched, you get to be challenging, and them growing pains hurt. My daughter, mama, come rub my legs. Why? Because her legs are hurting because she's growing. And so you may need somebody to come alongside of you and help lift up your hands. Why? Because what I am experiencing, this growing, I feel like it's stretching me beyond measure. But God will send somebody to be like, no, I uplift you. I'm going to help you. You know what I'm saying? And God will send someone that'll be like, let me just hold your arms just a little bit. You're tired. You know what I'm saying? And so just to uphold you a little bit. So that's what I have to say about growth and change. And it's a great thing. I believe it's a great thing. And like you said, the evidence that you see, the pain is the evidence of you. So it's like, instead of us looking at it in a bad way, we can look at it in a good way. I'm so glad I'm growing. It may hurt. I may not like the stretching. I may not like the challenges, but I'm glad I ain't stuck.
Oh,
Are stuck. Let me tell you this. One time I did this thing called How to Get Unstuck. And if you find yourself stuck, all you have to do is regroup, re-strategize, and do something different. You can't keep doing the same thing that got you stuck. So you want to do something different, because you can get unstuck. If you have found yourself stuck, that's just like driving in your car and you hit some mud or something, your tire's stuck. You got to do some things. And then also you may need some help. Somebody's car that's stuck in the mud, they probably need somebody else to come help them pull it while they do the pedal, or they get out and pull it too. So you may need some help to get unstuck.
Yeah.
Somebody to come alongside of you and give you some tools for you to come out of that place. So it's not like throw the whole towel in. You have to throw the towel in. All you got to do is just, I would say, step back and assess the situation.
Yeah.
Step back and be honest with yourself. Where am I at? And what is going on? And what needs to be done? Am I doing something over and over again and it's not working, ain't been working, but I just refuse to do something new? And I think when you step back and look at all that, then you're able to say, okay, these are the strategies I'm going to do to get unstuck. Because I don't have to stay stuck. Because if I stay stuck, then I'm going to die here. And I can't die here because this ain't the finish line.
Come on here.
I don't want to die with unfinished business. I always tell people, wouldn't it be a shame to get to heaven and God show you all the things you could have or could have done, but you didn't want to go forth?
Ooh. that's ooh, Jesus.
And it's too late by that time.
Yeah. It's a little way too late at that point. But not even to thinking about that, y'all. Like, there's two things that when you were talking, now I'm gonna say this because you just brought that part up. But not only that God would just like show you that, right? The people that you should have reached.
Yeah.
The people, I always say this, people depend on your yes.
Yeah.
People depend on your obedience. People depend on you being faithful. And some people are like, MK, how are they dependent on it? Because people are paying attention to you.
Yeah.
Some people honestly look up to people as a role model, as a mentor, as someone that like you said, the solid people, the people that's watering them, right? And so when you said that, I was thinking like, man, think about the people that were connected to your purpose.
Yeah, that's good.
To the process, to the point of the process of you growing and you changing. But like you said, you decided to stop. You decided to give up. What does that say about the generations?
That's good.
That you were supposed to help, that you were supposed to pour into, that you were supposed to encourage. We don't think about that. And that's why I always tell people it's not always about you. You have to get out your feelings because of the fact is God has placed you here for a reason. He did not place us here to be stagnated. He did not place us here so that we can't produce. Because a prophetess Lisa was stating that in regards to even enduring and being pruned. His word says, I am the one that prunes you. Why? Because there it has to be some type of thing that takes place so you can be able to produce much fruit. The pruning has to happen. Why? So more fruit can come forth. Why? Because we're called to produce fruit. Because if we say we believe in Christ and we've received him, the evidence of that is the fruit of the Spirit.
That's good.
So it all comes together. So it makes you think about it, Kamiko, like, man, I gotta keep growing. I gotta keep changing. Because, like I said, not just if you want to make it real close and personal, your kids, if you have kids, you have nieces, nephews, they're looking at you. Right? And so they're watching your response to things. They're watching how you handle these things. And so if you decide to give up, what example are you setting for that generation?
That's good.
What example are you setting for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren? What example are you showing to let them know it's easier to give up? It's easier to stop growing. It's easier to stop changing. It's easier to do all those things. When in reality, could it be it's because you're just lazy? You just want to procrastinate. You just don't want to do it. Why? Because like you said, well, if ain't nobody else in my family did it, why can't I? Why not you?
That's good.
I don't want to be the one to where I'm responsible for the generation that should be coming up after me. They're not growing because of me. They're failing because of me. They're not succeeding because of me. Like, I want to be the one that pays that way to where the generations are looking up and saying, hey, like my great grandma was doing this. She was pushing, she was doing that, she was doing all the other stuff that now plants that seed for the next generation and the generations to come and the legacy.
That's good.
See, we don't think about that.
That's good.
And that's why it's so important and so vital to make sure we self-reflect, to make sure that we are allowing for the growth and change to happen.
That's good. I like that.
It has to happen. It needs to happen.
Yeah, that's good.
Because there's so many people that are depending on us.
That's good.
There's so many people that are depending on us just being able to keep moving forward with the momentum.
Yeah. That's good.
And that's crazy to me. Like, I'm sitting here like, man, as you was talking, I'm like, yeah, then think about it. That'd be a lot of generations.
Yeah.
A lot of legacy. A lot of people, like you said, he could have showed you all the things you could have accomplished.
Yeah.
And with you accomplishing the next generation, the legacy, all the other things that could have happened with you just accomplishing it.
Yeah. Years ago, he told me this. He said, there are people counting on you that you have not met yet.
See?
So I truly believe that there are people assigned to us because not everybody is assigned to the same person. But I think there are people assigned to you because, for one, what you've been through and the anointing that's on your life. And I believe God signed certain people. And I say, like you said, it's not about you. But if you give up, you stop growing, you stop changing, what happens to the people that was assigned to you that you have not met yet? The ones that, because you grew and you did this, you ended up in this certain place. And then you had these certain people that came there and they was able to experience you. If you give up, you'll never make it to that place.
Yes.
And so it's not that God can't use somebody else to do it. No, he can. We know this. But that doesn't negate that it was assigned to you first.
Ooh.
Because he can take it and give it to somebody else. Look what he did with Elijah and Elisha.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just all about you realizing that there are people counting on me.
Yeah.
I haven't met them yet, but they counting on me. There are some people that are counting on you that you have not met.
Oh, Jesus.
They are counting on you to finish the assignment. They are counting you to show up. They are counting on you to grow and change. They're counting you because there are time slots for you to be at certain places.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you was born in a certain year on a certain day. What? Because God has a certain times for you to be in certain places. If you stop and give up, you won't be at that next destination. You won't make it there at the time you were supposed to be there. So just look at it this way, because I'm thinking, what if you show up there 3 years late?
Oh,
the people you were supposed to meet 3 years earlier, they're already gone.
Wow, that's heavy.
But because you procrastinated, because you fought the growth, you fought the change, you ended up there 3 years later, and the people you were supposed to meet 3 years earlier are not there.
Ooh. Oh, that's heavy.
So, yeah, just let that marinate. Just let that marinate. And that's just something for us to think about, because you arrived late. You got there late. It wasn't God. It was you. He's not going to force you. So you got there later than what you were supposed to be. And the people had already come and gone.
My God.
What if it got to the point all the way to where it was like, your blood is on their hands. Their blood is on your hands. Their blood is on your hands. I'm just kind of going there. I'm not saying, but just think if it went all the way to that. Just think of, and just think of such and such committed suicide, but you were supposed to be there, but you didn't get there. Jeez. When God told you to do what you're supposed to do at a particular time.
That's deep.
Ain't that something?
But like you said, that's something to think about.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like every day you should be growing. Every day something should be happening. Yeah. And so like you said, it wasn't God that made you late. You made yourself late. And now the people that were counting on you, depending on that word for you to give, didn't receive it. And so now whether they transition, whether they decided to go a different route, like we don't think about that.
Ain't that
That's why I said it's vital. It's vital. It's heavy. Like that thing is heavy. Hey, Chantel. Hey, my sis. Hey, Nadine. That thing is heavy. That's y'all. Oh man, it's so much. It's so much that can be talked about with this because it's like I believe people want growth. But a lot of times, like you said, it's that feeling of just being afraid.
Yeah.
Because you really don't know what to expect. Especially if you're going into a place that you've never went before. Like, especially, if you decide to do entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
That's going to be a moment where you're like, you're scared. You're uncomfortable. You're like, I never did this before, God. Like, I don't know. I don't know, God. I don't know. Right. And it's just like, when we tie that into, even if we're dealing with entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurship or whatever it is your business is, it's going to benefit somebody.
Yeah.
And so because you're so afraid to move forward, because you're so afraid to progress, because you're so afraid of the growth and the change, the many lives, let's just put out like maybe 1 million lives that you were supposed to reach with that business, you never reached them. So now they're not able to produce. They're not. Oh, wait, hold up. Not even just that. Let's switch the end. God found your replacement because you didn't want to submit to the growth.
Mm-mm.
We
He
ain't
was
thinking
replaced.
about none of that. This is some deep
Was
stuff.
that Elijah and Elisha, or was that Elisha and somebody else? You remember when God told him to anoint somebody else? It wasn't Samuel. Do you remember when?
I think it was Elijah.
Yeah, and when he came out the cave. Yes, it
Yeah,
was. He
it
had
was
him
Elijah.
anoint Elisha, because remember he did all that weird. Remember he did all that. I want to die. I'm the only person. Did you notice?
I'm stupid for that one.
Then you notice soon after that he told him.
Yeah,
And he had him go. Remember, Elisha was out there tilling the ground or doing
Yep.
something. He had him go and throw his mantle. Remember?
yeah.
Because he was like, if you're gonna do all this, I'll give it to somebody else.
But see, let's pause for the cause, coach. Because see, this is some deep stuff. Because if we think of even when it comes to that scripture and things like that, like I said, at the end of the day, there could be a twofold to that. Yes, okay, there's some people that you could have missed, you could have poured into, you could all these things, right? But there is a time where this assignment, this thing, whatever God has called you to do, because it's the growth in you, it's the change in you, right? And so you decide to not want to move forward. You decide to want to take your time. You decide where I'm like, man, I don't know about all that. You hesitant. You trying to talk yourself out of it. And God is saying, I need this particular thing to go forward. And so because you don't want to get on board, because you don't want to do the necessary things, and like you even said, strategize, I'm going to get your replacement. There's nothing worse than to have God, because He gonna tell you, you gonna know.
Wait, when you saying it made me think how I've heard stories of people have to train their replacement, like at jobs. It's never happened to me, but I've heard stories.
Listen, ain't nothing worse to even with that part. Ain't nothing worse, y'all. We being so serious. I know we're cracking a little joke, but this is deep to really think about the fact of God says this thing still got to get done because the assignment on the other person's life and the next person's life and the next person's life, like this thing is critical. This thing is an urgency, right? And so because you don't want to grow, or you make the excuses or whatever it may be, like you said, now God's like, I'm gonna find your replacement to somebody who is obedient.
Wow.
How you think that's gonna make you feel that the assignment God trusted you with, which means He believed in you before you believed in yourself? That right there should even settles it. If God is believing in me to go forth and be an entrepreneur, if God is believing in me to go forth and write the book, if God is believing in me to go forth and do all of these great things, how come I can't believe what He said?
That's good.
How come I can't believe what He's already spoken, what He's already declared? I always tell people, I ain't trying to get replaced. I don't want no replacements. Baby, listen, I want to be close to the Lord. I want to make sure that I'm constantly feeling His presence.
Yeah.
And we don't think about that.
No.
Because we want to just be like, I don't want to do it.
Because we think He's going to wait on us. Like it's as if He need us.
He don't need us. God can find somebody else. I believe He will want to have us. He will want to use us. He will want to, even in the Bible where it talks about bring me a sacrifice that's a clean vessel. God wants us to be at that place where we can be used, but it makes no sense for God to want it more than what we want.
That's good. I love it.
So those are things to even think about. Those are things to reflect on, to where it's like, God, I don't want to be a replacement.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck, because if I'm stuck, I'm not producing. I want to be known for the type of person, hey, she produces something for the kingdom. He produces something for the kingdom. Like, no, when you connect to them, you got to produce something. You ain't about to be stagnated. You ain't about to be, no. We challenging over here. We going to progress over here. We going to move forward over here. Why? Because it's about the assignment that has already been given to us.
That's good.
It's about the assignment that's already been given to us.
That's good.
So that's why it's like, man, like, we got to take this thing serious. Because you keep playing and you think God won't replace you. You keep playing and think, my God.
You come in and somebody else be sitting in your seat.
Listen, you walk up like, excuse me, where my seat? And God's like, no, I put them there. What you gonna do then? What you gonna do tune in when God, and here's the thing, God gives us opportunity. I said this before,
Yep.
he'll give us multiple opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, and I really believe this is a real big thing why God wanted us to talk about the growth and the change and how it goes together and everything else that followed after it. Y'all remember, we have no notes. So all of this just comes like freestyle. Freestyle. Because I believe that God, like I said, God, as his word says, he wants us to succeed. He has plans to prosper us, not for us to stay at the place where, like I said, where we're stuck, where we're stagnated. And I want to even go back to this when we were talking about as far as the friends and having people to water you, having people to pour into you, maybe correct you at times, whatever they need to do. I want to encourage somebody even here on tonight who have made the decision that, hey, I want to grow.
Yeah,
I want to move forward. I don't like where I'm at. Like you said, I ain't trying to be at the liquor store all the time and just sitting around. I'm not trying to be on the corner all the time. Like something's happening inside of me to where I don't want the same thing. I don't want to hang out with my family because all they doing is tripping and gossiping, shooting dice. I don't want to do it. And I'm thinking off of my family, okay, history. I don't want nobody to think I'm talking about them. I don't want nobody to think I'm talking about them, y'all. I'm telling you, when I speak, it's because what I went through, what I faced, all that good stuff, okay? I don't want to do none of that. There ain't no shade, but baby, that's my testimony, okay? I don't want to do none of that. I want something different. And when you begin to desire something different, when you begin to desire more of God, when you begin to desire that transformation, God is going to give it to you. And so I want to encourage the person who are in that process, you are going through that process of growing pains. Do not apologize for your growth.
Yeah, that's good.
Do not apologize because you are changing. People be like, oh, you changed. No, baby, I'm just growing. They be like, oh, you changed, you acting bougie. Well, let it be bougie, baby. Because guess what? I'm not going back there. I'm not going back to that person because, like you said, that person was dead. That person, you don't even look right. You ever look? We talked about this before. You ever looked at your old pictures and you be like, man, I was dark.
Yep. I told somebody, I just heard somebody that
is just ugly. What is that? But then when God and he changes you, you have a glow, you have a different look.
Yes.
So I want to tell somebody, don't apologize for your growth. Don't apologize because you made the decision, but you ain't got to explain nothing to nobody.
No,
that's the thing.
Because
I don't know where we get this where, coach, we got to explain that I'm growing. I got to explain to you why I don't want to drink anymore. I got to explain to you why I don't want to smoke anymore. I got to explain to you why I don't want to turn up anymore. I got to explain to you why I ain't pulling up at that house and dragging her out. I got to explain all these things to you. No.
Too much explaining.
Yeah, it's too much explaining. I don't have to explain anything to anybody.
That's good.
So at the end of the day, when you have made that decision, you don't have to explain nothing to nobody.
That's good.
Because if I'll be honest, this is how you're going to recognize the people who are sent to water you or the people who are sent to uproot you. The people who are sent to destroy you is based off of their response when you tell them you want growth and change.
Yeah, that's good.
When you start seeing their responses, if they're not pushing you, if they're not like, babe, come on, let's get this bucket, let's get this water, but what you need, we got the tools. Come on with Nehemiah. Oh, I love that scripture. They was like, we gonna build. We got the tool in one hand, we got the weapon in the other hand. Let somebody run up because we already had the other guards up there watching. They was gonna sound the alarm. So when the enemies run up, we ready to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, get you some people that's around you who gonna want to build with you, who don't mind when it comes to it. They gotta fight, not to fight them the natural, y'all. And not natural. I don't want nobody to be like MK.
They're gonna go back and say you said fighting the natural. So they get in a fight. They're gonna say, well, MK said it was okay to fight.
Nah, that ain't what I said. Go ahead and rewind. Okay? They're gonna want to help you fight spiritually. They're gonna want to go into that prayer closet with you. They're gonna want to go to war with you. They're gonna want to be able to say, listen, I got scriptures that can back that thing up. I gotta be able to help you. I gotta encourage you in this midst of it, because y'all, when you are growing and changing, you're gonna have some type of discouraged thoughts.
Yeah,
the enemy gonna try to come in. He's gonna try to provoke you. He's gonna try to get you to give up. Why? Because he know that there will be a legacy that's birthed out of your change.
That's good.
So of course he's gonna try. Of course he's gonna try to do all that. But that's why I say you got to keep going. God's gonna give you the momentum. God's gonna
Yes.
give you the strength. And if
Yes.
ain't nobody on that one accord, Kamiko, Nadine, if they ain't on that one accord, you gotta hit the deuces. You gotta hit the deuce. I don't even have time for you to play catch up. See, somebody on here, you growing, you progressing, and the people that has been around you, they slowing you down.
That's good.
They trying to play catch up with you.
That's
But
good.
the problem is you're waiting for them to get to your level when you're not producing and progressing to the level that God needs you to progress to.
That was good right there.
You can't wait for them.
That's
Did
good.
God tell you to? Did
That's
God say
good.
wait? Did God say
Yeah.
help them out to the extent where now you're stagnated?
That's
Something's
good.
wrong with that, baby. I can't wait on you. I'm sorry. You should have caught this train while it was moving. You should have been on board already. Why is it that we all on board? You over here rushing from the back end station, and you're trying to be like, wait for me. Nobody ain't no wait from you.
The train don't wait for nobody. The bus might, but not the train.
Say it again. The train ain't waiting for nobody. The bus ain't waiting for nobody. The airplanes ain't waiting for nobody. Baby, they boarding. Okay? If you ain't got your boarding pass ready, if you ain't ready to go forward, then I'm sorry.
That's
good. I'm sorry. I gotta go.
That's good.
So by you sitting waiting on everybody else, you ain't doing what you're called to do.
That's good.
That's all I got. Because y'all friends gonna be mad at me, but baby, I don't care because it's time to level up. We ain't waiting on nobody. We're not even hiding our growth. We're not dimming ourselves down to make other people comfortable. No, I'm growing. I'm progressing. I'm changing. I'm moving into what God has for me. And if you don't like it, then I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
but
good.
I'm not stopping.
That's good.
That's it.
I love it. I love it.
I
love it. I think you just got to embrace it. Your growth and change and be unapologetic. You don't have to apologize to no one. You don't have to, and don't make sure you don't have the attitude of you're doing this to try to prove some people wrong, because that's the wrong heart posture. You have to do this because I love God and I want more, not because I want people to see, not because I want to prove people wrong. That's the wrong heart, because you don't want to grow and have a bad heart. So you got to know that your growth and your change is about you.
Yes.
You have to be willing to put in the work, whatever that may look like. And even we're January, and it's funny we're talking about this topic and we're in January because this should be the year of growth and change for you.
Yes.
You should not be the same person you were last year this time. If you are, that means you haven't changed. So if you find yourself that you're the same person you was last year this time, it's time to do something different.
Yeah.
So then next year in 25, you'll be somebody different than you was in 24. So it's not too late, but you got to be willing to do the work. You can't expect somebody else to do the work for you. You can't expect somebody else to grow for you. That doesn't happen. You have to be willing to grow, and you have to take the restraints off. Stop trying to restrict God. Sometimes we're trying to restrict the Holy Spirit. We only want so much. We want to dictate where we want to change at, where we want to grow at, allow the Holy Spirit to be the Holy Spirit, and he will go into the areas that needs to change. He will go into the areas that needs to grow. You have to just be a willing vessel. You just have to present yourself as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable as your reasonable service. Give it to him and allow the Holy Spirit to go in and do the work. You can't tell him or dictate to him what areas you want to grow or what areas you want to leave the same. That doesn't happen with God, because when God prunes you, he prunes you back so that you may spring forth. And so you can dictate. And so as long as you're dictating, you will never grow. As long as you're dictating, you'll never change. As long as you dictate, you'll be stuck. So you have to know that I'm just going to allow God to be God, and he will go in. He is the great physician. He knows what areas that needs to have surgery. He knows how to go in and not touch anything else. But oh my goodness, he knows how to go in and touch the very thing he went in for without touching other things.
Come on here.
He is that great. And so we have to allow him to do whatever he needs to do, because you may think you have grown in that area and you really haven't. You may think you have reached the fullest potential in that area and you haven't. So you just have to determine within your mind, I'm going to let God be God. And I'm going to, this year, 2024, I'm going to grow. I'm going to change, and I'm going to blossom forth. And my fruit will speak for himself. I ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. My fruit is going to speak. My fruit is going to speak. I'm done.
Period. Okay. That's it. because the word of the Lord said those that are planted by him will flourish. That's his word. Baby, it's my time to flourish, and I ain't backing down. So that's all we got, y'all.
Yeah.
What would they say? Ruffle some feathers. we can't win it, y'all. But as we always say, we want y'all to level up.
Yeah.
So we hope that this conversation, this topic, just honestly cause for you to just kind of, like I said, self-reflect, self-examine, whatever adjustments you need to do. If you feel like you ain't got to make no adjustments, you good where you're at, hey, that's by all means. But just always remember that there is more that God wants us to do. There's more people he wants us to reach so that they can continue to reach more people, and that it shall continue to go forward. So at the end of the day, y'all, we just really hope, like I said, this message have helped you guys, and even just cause for you to level up. So we love y'all. We appreciate y'all's support. Do us another favor before we get off. Share again. That way, somebody, in case they missed it, they can catch it again, because someone may need to hear this. Somebody might need to make adjustments. Somebody need to they might throw their phone in the process of what's happening. But hey, change is gonna happen, growth is gonna happen. So we love y'all, and we definitely appreciate y'all.
Yes, we do. And don't forget to go and buy your tickets on Eventbrite for the Level Up Conference. The cutoff date is coming soon. I'm gonna keep saying it. The cutoff date is coming sooner than you think. And so go over to Eventbrite, buy your conference tickets. No more excuses. And that's it. Love you too.
We love y'all. Don't forget to connect with us on other social media platforms below. And then we also have, because I know somebody has suggested it, so we do have a way that you guys can give if you decide to sow whatever it is that you want to sow and bless Level Up Podcast with. You can do so. It is right there below. So it is on Cash App, $Level Up Podcast, Cash App, $Level Up Podcast, whatever you guys decide to sow, and to just bless us with. We appreciate it. But we love y'all. Thank y'all for the support, tagging and sharing. And that's all we got. We'll see y'all next week.
You're welcome, Prophetess Lisa. And we love you guys. Bye, y'all.